boys and girls, it's me, Eugene Finkelberg. How's everyone doing this week? As you can see, I'm wearing something weird. You see, I'm wearing a bee suit. Yeah! You want to see this? Watch this. Watch. Yeah, so we're going to check out some bees today. My friend Kayla and Brian made their beehive, and they're going to show us what's inside. So let's take a look.
These are our worker bees. That's mainly what our hive is made out of. 98% of bees during the springtime are all our workers. They're doing all the jobs in the colony basically. There's a drone. He's a bigger guy. Oh, he just went down. Maybe we'll find him. The drones are only in the hive for mating. And we have a queen that we're probably going to try to find. Oh yeah. So make sure she's not on here. Our queen in this colony has a blue dot, and I don't see a blue dot. We have a blue dot on her just so that we can tell her from the rest of them, and we can keep track of how old she is. So I'm actually going to flip this around. And if you see right here, we're looking at the comb and see how much they're actually filling. This is just plastic. But if you can see, there's some raised wax here. And that's actually beeswax. And these bees have actually made it themselves.
Here's a drone.
Yeah, there's a drone right there. He's a bigger guy. You can tell his bigger eyes. But we're looking at the comb right here. So bees actually make their own home. We give them the plastic foundation kind of as blueprints. And then they go out and collect nectar. So you can actually see there's shiny liquid in there. That's nectar that they're storing, and they're going to make into honey eventually. They have to make the wax cells first. And they have to produce beeswax. They'll eat a whole bunch of nectar and actually sweat scales of wax on their body. So at some point in their life, the worker bees, one of their jobs will be to produce wax. And she'll eat a whole bunch of nectar, sweat these cells of wax. She'll then chew them up and form them into the honeycomb cells. So we go from flat to these raised areas. The honeycomb cells can then be used to store pollen. That's a little bit of pollen. They're going to use that pollen to feed the baby bees or the pupa and larvae that are developing. They're also going to use the cells to store honey in. So they're going to put nectar in there, and they're going to turn it into honey by adding enzymes in their honey stomach, and also dehydrating it by fanning their wings on it to get the moisture level down. They also use the hive, the honeycomb cells, to lay their eggs, and that's where our queen comes in. So we're going to try to find our queen, because she'll actually put her abdomen into these cells to lay an egg on the very bottom. I'm good right now. So we're actually putting the smoke on here. Not that it calms them down, but it makes them a little distracted and changes their behavior so they don't want to sting us. I gotta make sure I have a queen or not. There she is. See that bright blue dot on this corner? She's really long. There's our queen bee. So she's actually looking around, and maybe if we watch her long enough, she'll actually lay an egg in a cell. She's gonna go around and pop her head into the cells and say, are you clean and ready for an egg, to lay an egg in there? When she does, she'll back up her abdomen and she will deposit an egg at the very bottom of that cell. Then her daughters will take over and they'll watch that cell and feed it. See, look, she just put her head in the cell. Oh, maybe she might lay an egg. She's still deciding. Then her daughters will take over and they'll feed that baby bee that's developing, and then she'll keep moving on to lay more eggs. So we're checking to see. You can also see some pollen cells that are in here at the top. You're all seeing worker bees. These are all of her daughters that she has laid. And you can see there's a full comb. There's all full comb built up here. So they produce all that wax to fill it up from this plastic foundation here to make it tall. So maybe she'll actually lay an egg if we watch her long enough. More smoke, Dad. It's not on her directly. Okay. So you can see all that beautiful wax, and it's bright white because it's fresh. As it gets older and the bees walk on it more, just like your clean white floor at home, eventually it kind of gets a little dirty. So the bees have that here too. Eventually, if we would look back at this in a month or two, the wax wouldn't be so pure white. It'd be kind of like a yellowish creamy color and getting a little bit darker. So we're actually gonna see, I'm trying to see, oh, she actually laid some eggs in here, which is good. It's really hard to see, so unfortunately you can't see the eggs, but they're smaller than a grain of rice, and that's her job, is to lay eggs. But first, her children have to provide for her and make these honeycombs by producing beeswax. Do you see her? Oh, there she is. She's up top. She's on top of her. Her children are on top of her to make sure that she's protected. She's the most important bee in the colony, so they're going to make sure that she's taken care of. We're going to put her in so she's all nice and we don't squish her. And we can check on another frame to see how they're doing. Oh yeah. Oh, we actually have honey capped over here. I'm gonna turn it around gently as to not disturb them. As you can see, we're not getting stung at all. Honeybees are very gentle. They don't want to sting, because if they sting, they end up dying. Right in the center, you see all that capped? You may have to come over here for a little bit so I can point it out. Right here. You see all those yellow cappings? That is all. There's honey around distributed in there. There's actually larvae developing. There's some cells of honey, but that's actually baby bees that are developing. And that's actually our bees that are going to be developed. But all of that is possible because the bees made their own home and are able to keep their family growing.
So if you guys want to know any more information about the bees, guys, go ahead and contact Brian and Kayla, because they're the experts on this whole thing. Thank you, guys.
As you can see, this is a beehive house. Yeah, they made it out of honeycomb and stuff, so it's pretty cool. You know what's similar to a beehive? Is our heart. Yeah, that's right, our heart, boys and girls. You see, just like bees like to live in their home, Jesus wants to live in our hearts. So we should allow him to come in. So when Jesus is knocking at the door, we should open it up so Jesus can come and live in our hearts just like the bees live in their home. So if you've never asked Jesus into your heart before, talk to mom and dad about that. And if you have any more questions, you can contact me and I can help you with that. So, that cool, boys and girls. So I want to thank Brian and Kayla for allowing us to come out and see their beehive today. And with